Properly securing your WordPress website is absolutely vital to maintaining the integrity of your business. If your site gets compromised, it gets taken down, it can be a real big mess. So let's talk about how to properly secure your WordPress website and prevent it from being compromised. Did you know that a majority of businesses that have a website that gets hacked, they never end up recovering, meaning the business actually fails after that? So whether your website is already live or you're preparing to take it live, it is vitally important that you protect your website against these hackers. See, the platform we've shown you how to build your website on, it's called WordPress. Not only is it open source, but that platform makes up 1 in 3 websites online. And those two factors lead WordPress websites to be targeted by hackers across the world trying to get in for various different reasons. And look, the last thing you want to do is spend all this time building an awesome website for your business just to have it completely compromised by some hackers. So to prevent that from happening, I'm going to show you how to properly secure your WordPress website and prevent it from being completely destroyed by some random hackers. All right. Let's get into it. Now, if you're not a real techie person and you would just prefer to have someone secure your website for you, then don't worry because we do offer this as a service. You can learn more by visiting imchannel.tv/security. But if you want to do this yourself, let me just show you exactly what you'd need to do. Okay, so when it comes to securing your website, there's a couple of things that we want to make sure that we do right off the bat. And the first thing is going to be making sure that we have secure usernames and passwords for all of the users that are able to log into the website. So to check that, all you do is come over to the back end of WordPress and go to the users area. And you'll see that there's only one user added to this website. And the username is some random selection of uppercase and lowercase letters. Now, when you create a WordPress site, oftentimes it'll just set a default username for the admin user, and the username will just be admin. And hackers know that that's a thing, so what they'll do is they'll try to log into your site by going to your domain name /wp-admin, which is the same way you log into all WordPress websites. And so they know they can go to that URL and then use the username admin, and then they'll try using a random set of passwords to try to crack into the website. It's called a brute force attack. So to prevent people from trying to break in with a brute force attack like that, what you can do is give the users on the website a unique and hard to guess username. Now, each user's username will end up becoming a URL where you can find out more about the author. So the reason we use uppercase and lowercase is because hackers can see the username, but they can only see it in lowercase. So it's much more difficult for them to try to use that username if it has uppercase and lowercase letters in it. And then same thing with the password. So if you go to add a new user, it's going to give you a password to start with. And you can see this is a pretty crazy password. I mean, this isn't something you would memorize, but I would suggest using these strong passwords. Again, just so that if somebody's trying to guess usernames and passwords, it's going to be really, really difficult for them to guess something this complex. So try not to use passwords that you use elsewhere. When it comes to setting up users on your WordPress website, try to use a unique username and a really unique, strong password. And I would just recommend using the one that they suggest here when you go to create a new user. So that will, let's go ahead and leave that page. That will help you generate users and protect those users because that's the access into the back end of the website. Now, once you have the users all optimized for security by using a unique and difficult to guess username and password. Then the second thing you want to do is go ahead and add in a security plugin. So what I would recommend using is a plugin called Wordfence. So we'll come to plugins here, and we could just click add new. There's a lot of different ways to navigate WordPress, but we'll click add new up here, and then we're going to search for Wordfence security, and you'll see it here. You'll know it's the right one because it's got millions of downloads, and this is a really popular plugin because it's so effective. So then you just click install now, and it's going to download the files for that plugin directly to your website. And then once those files are downloaded, we'll see this activate plugin appear, and then we'll need to click activate, which is then going to activate the plugin and make it live on the website. And then again, if you have caching set up on your site, make sure to purge the cache because we just activated a new plugin on the website. And for WordPress, it's pretty much set up out of the box. There's not a whole lot you'll need to do. It's recommending that we configure some different settings here, and it looks like it's wanting to resume the install. So let's see what happens when we do that. Okay, so it's all set up now. So it's pretty straightforward. You know, typically you can click a couple buttons and have it ready to go, or you can really just install the plugin. And even though what it's trying to do here is it's trying to get us to basically provide our email so that they can market to us, and then they're trying to get us to upgrade to the premium. But you can see it's already showing that 48% protection from firewall and 60% protection from scan, which you can see behind this this pop-up here. So once you've installed it, it's pretty much good to go. You can just let it do its thing, and it does a lot of different things, which if you want to get into it, you can start looking through all the different features that it has. You can set up two-factor authentication, login, and all sorts of different stuff to help protect your website. But one of the main things that Wordfence does is it prevents people from brute force attacking and trying to get into your website. So if somebody finds your username, like this one that we're using here, and they try to use it to log into the website and it keeps failing, well, after they do that a certain number of times, say it's 20 times, then it blocks that IP address and that person's no longer able to try to log into the site. So that generally protects you against brute force attacks where somebody is trying to guess your username and password over and over and over and over again. Eventually it will just block them and they won't be able to try logging in anymore. So that's one really great feature that Wordfence offers that will really help secure your website. But ultimately, it's not perfect. Somebody could still technically get into your website with, like sometimes plugins are outdated and there's a security issue and it doesn't get updated in time, and someone can still get into the site. So ultimately, the best thing that you can do once your site is all set up is to actually take a backup of the site. So to do that, we're going to come over to the plugins and we're going to click add new, and we're going to find this plugin called Duplicator. So it looks like this, and again, it's got over 1 million downloads, so you'll know you have the right one. But it's developed by Snap Creek, and when we install this plugin, what it's going to do is it's going to allow us to actually take a backup of the website that we can then store off-site, so somewhere else other than the server where your website lives. So once that plugin's installed and activated, you'll see it shows up right here. And if you click Packages, then all you do is click Create New and click Next. And then it's going to scan the site, figure out how big the site is, so 160 megabytes. And because it's large, it's wanting us to verify before we continue. So then we just click Build. And what this is going to do is it's going to go through and package up all of the files as well as the database of the website into 2 files that are compressed and much smaller than if you were to just download all the files. And then we can take those 2 files that get generated and we can save those either on our computer, on your desktop, or you could save them in the cloud somewhere like Google Drive or Dropbox. Somewhere where it's not on the website server where your website lives. So the idea is if you have a backup copy somewhere completely different, then even if your website were to get hacked and your server was compromised, you would still have a copy of the website that you could then just re-upload and start from fresh. So there it goes. It's done completing that backup. So then we just download the installer and the archive file. And it's going to take a few minutes for those to finish downloading. Well, I guess not. They just finished downloading. So then all we would do is take those files and save them somewhere secure, like I was saying, in a different location other than where your website is hosted. And with those 3 steps, making your users secure, adding in Wordfence, and then taking a copy of the website to save off-site, between those 3, you pretty much guarantee that your website's going to stay safe over time. And if anything does happen, then again, you have that backup that you can always restore from. So that's pretty much it. If you apply those 3 things, then you'll have your website in a position where you can feel comfortable that it's going to be safe, even if somebody does end up hacking into your website. Hey, thanks so much for sticking around to the end of this episode. I hope that you got a lot of value out of it. If you did enjoy this episode, then make sure to tune in to the next episode where we're going to show you how to boost the load speed of your website so that people have an awesome experience, can zip around, find everything they're looking for, and not get frustrated and just leave because it's so darn slow. All right, I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.